This is the to read or not to reread book tag. Number 1, do you reread fiction? Why or why not? I used to reread fiction. I read a lot of historical fiction or crime fiction with an FBI profiler, and I used to reread, but I don't read too many fiction anymore. Do you reread nonfiction? Why or not? Yes, I reread nonfiction if I really, really like it. And right now I'm trying to thin out my nonfiction. I've got bookshelves everywhere, and I'm trying to read and reread everything and see if I'm going to keep the book or unhaul the book. And I am rereading books right now if they fit the bingo book prompt reading challenge prompts. If you reread fiction, what kind of fiction are you most likely to choose? I'm most likely to choose historical fiction or a fictional read about an animal or animals. If you reread nonfiction, what kind of nonfiction are you most likely to choose? I'm most likely to choose a history, a biography, an autobiography, or a memoir. What reasons for the choices you've made? Well, I like to read about history. I like to read about biographies about queens and kings, our founding fathers, Civil War generals. And I'm most likely to reread one if I really like it, especially if it's about General Lee. And memoirs and autobiographies. I like to read about people's lives. I like to read about the old movie stars from the 20s and 30s and the 40s. And so if I really like it, I'm likely to reread it. If you read a book which has been translated from another language, would you reread the same book in a newer or different translation? Absolutely. I would reread it in the same translation, and I would reread it in a different translation. How many times would you reread the same book? Many times. I have reread Gone with the Wind many times from high school to now. It was a book I dearly loved. It's historical fiction about the Civil War, about what people went through the Civil War, the tragedies of the Civil War, and I really loved it, and I have reread it many, many times. What's the most recent book you've read? I have most recently read Oogie. It is the story about a bait dog who was thrown away like trash, and a veterinarian saved his life, and a family accidentally saw him when they went to take their cat to the vet, and he fell in love with the dog, and the dog fell in love with him, and they adopted him, and he had a wonderful, wonderful life. It's a good story. It'll make you cry. It's just about a dog that nobody wanted, and he ended up being greatly, greatly loved. Good book. Second book I reread is Empire of the Summer Moon, about Quanah Park, who was the son of Cynthia Park and a Comanche chief. And what a fascinating man. He led a fascinating life. He acclimated to the American world, and he was loved by the whites and the Indians alike. Very wonderful man, did a lot of good for his people, and he even helped the whites. He's fondly remembered, and people just really loved him, and it is a very good book. Another book that I reread was The Manson Women, and both of these books I read for Book Bingo Prompts, and also reread The Manson Women, which fit a Book Bingo Prompt. And I reread Mary Queen of Scots by Antonia Fraser. I thought I had the book, but I must have unhauled it. I reread it for a Book Bingo Prompt, and I have reread books on kings and queens many times, and I like reading about queens and kings and learn about their life, and so if I like it, I will reread it. Thanks for listening. This is the to read or not to reread tag. Thanks for tagging me, Talia. Thanks for listening. Bye.